What is going on, fellow gamers? ChaosEclipse here. We are back on No Man's Sky, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm duplicating items out here or anything. So I'm just showing you guys the Albion pearls that I'm still picking up. We have not left the planet. I did get in the ship and fly around a little bit, but I stayed on the planet. Oh look, and we just did a milestone drifter. Okay, so that's technically our second one. The first one was walk 8,000 units, I believe. I found this big cave and I wanted to show you guys because I'm hoping that we can actually find the last two creatures. A cave like this would have creatures that are dwelling underground. The only thing I'm worried about though is it's one that like skims the surface. They're technically considered underground too. But also we've been coming across these little guys. You can't scan them, but they're hazardous flora. So basically if you get near them, they'll kind of puff up and let off a toxic thing. Like so. You don't want to stand near those guys. Some of them give you oxygen like this one, and then there's other ones that give you, they look exactly the same, but the other ones give you sodium. I don't know what the difference is between two. There you go, there's sodium right there. But I was hoping that we could find, like I said, the other creature that's supposed to be underground, unless I read it wrong. Let's go back into discoveries. So the flying one, that's going to be easy. Yeah, this one says rare, it's underground, but always active. So one of the things you guys can try, this doesn't always work, but if you get a cave big enough like this, like I said, oh, there he is right there. So most of the time you can just stand still and the creatures will eventually spawn around you. I don't know why it takes time sometimes, but it looks like we got this one. So the last one that we need is the one that flies, which we can go ahead and get out of here because I don't want to stay underground too long. It did say there's more Albion pearls somewhere right here. That's fine, we don't need any more. We have tons. We literally have tons, guys. So if we look at our inventory here, you guys can see I've been collecting them quite a bit. We're almost out of room. Actually, we only have one more slot here, so we'll stop picking those up. We have enough to make us fairly decently rich. We just need the flying one, which I seen it when I was flying. That's a crazy thing. When I was in the ship flying around, I did see it, and then now that I'm on the ground, I don't. I saw it the last minute. But now that I'm on the ground, I don't see them again. And then with our ship, we actually landed over here at this building. Oh, there's another one. Be careful with certain buildings. I did come across one where there were whispering eggs. You don't want to pick up whispering eggs early in the game. We'll go over that at a later date, but just trust me on that. You don't want to pick them up. But if you can find a spot like this one here, there's a couple reasons you want to stop, and I will show you guys right now why you want to stop here. Hopefully we can eventually get some birds to spawn in or something, whatever the flying things are. But let's run back over to our ship real quick. Oh, and then there's actually a couple of things I wanted to point out too that I forgot to. So when you're holding L2 and you're looking around, if you guys want to place a marker, or if you want to mark something, like if I wanted to go to that dioxide deposit, if you hold square on it, it'll tag it. So when you stop holding L2, you can see that it stays tagged. And then you can hold square on it again to untag it, I think. No? Okay, well that's going to stay tagged. But anyway, if you want to do your own custom waypoint, you can hold L2, say I wanted a waypoint right here, hold square there. It will put a waypoint there. And that waypoint stays there for quite a long time. If you want to remove it, you just hold L2 and do it again in the same exact spot and it goes away. So, and then you also do have different modes while you're scanning stuff. So L2, you can see at the bottom says analysis mode. If we hit right on the D-pad, it does go to a target sweep mode, which we will cover that at a different point as well. And that thing is still marked. Okay, this is what I was talking about. When you land at most places, you'll have a thing here that says save in chart unknown sector. If you hold square on it, it will save your game, and then it will also save this spot for you. So basically this spot here is now marked in your discoveries. So if we come up here to discoveries, you can see here, right here, we have a new camp that appeared, which normally there's a little picture. I don't know why the picture's not there, but if you want, you can rename the camp. It says it was discovered by me. It's called Camp Molavazkaz, something like that. And then you can upload the discovery to receive 3 nanite clusters. So if you hold square, boom, we just got our 3. You can also upload all of these. Each one does give you 3 individual nanites. You can always come over to this spot here. You can hold square to upload the entire thing. Same thing with this. You can upload the entire thing. That'll give me a total of 10. My suggestion, this is just a suggestion, you guys don't have to do this. Even if you upload this and it's going to give you 10, we just uploaded that. We can upload this one. Oops. I think I hit it. How do I not hide it? Uninhabited. There we go. So unhide, then go back to all visited. So hold, squares to rename and upload. If we rename and upload, that does not give us any. But you can upload all, hit square there. You can see we got a little more nanites. So if you go back to the planet and you look at the different plants here, all of these have already been uploaded. I don't know if it gives you the right amount of nanites, but the one thing that it will not do is even if you have all 6 of the creatures discovered, it will not give you the 1500. You do have to come in here and get the 1500 every time you find all the creatures. And that actually looks pretty cool. Normally I think these type of creatures look dumb, but I like this part. I don't know, just interesting to me. Any birds yet? Flying creatures? No. So when you come up to a building like this, if it has a launch pad like this one here, you'll want to land on the launch pad or a spot that shows as being marked for you to land. If you land at that, it's not going to cost you any launch thrust or fuel or anything like that when you take off. But when you're at these places, you have quite a bit of options in here. So you can see here they have a new gun here. If you want a new gun, it does cost units for you to buy. You can see this one here would cost 680,000 units, or you can exchange your current one for it. So it'll take the price of your current one, it'll give you this one, but it will still be 544,000. So they're both C classes. I would not see the point in doing this. This one does have a plasma launcher and it also does have a charge slot, but I still would not do something like this. And then if we look over here, anytime you find a machine like this, you can extract nanites by holding square on it. Sometimes there's other ones where you can extract units, but I don't see the other one. And then over here, this is a galactic trade terminal. You can buy and sell stuff in here. So as you can see, we're on the buy thing. You also do have 2 sets of inventory. You have your exosuit inventory. If you hit square, that is whatever's on your starship. So if you're buying anything and you want it to go directly to your starship, you make sure it's on your starship. If you want it to go into your regular inventory, hit square, that goes in your exosuit. And then you can see here there's 3 different little dots here. If you hit down on the D-pad, it goes to the second page, and there's 3 pages. So keep that in mind. And it looks like right now you can buy metal plating. Sorry about that, that's my phone. You can buy metal plating for 1,054, meaning you can probably make metal plating and sell it to them. I don't think it'll sell for that same amount. If we take a look in here, and we actually don't have any room there. If we hit X here, you can see 800 metal plating in this system only sells for 800. Or sorry, 1 metal plating. I don't know why I said 800, I guess because I was looking at the units. But 1 metal plating will only sell for 800. So technically, if you guys want, you can go collect a crap ton of ferrite dust and sell each one of these for 800 units. But that's completely up to you. That would be a lot of grinding for the ferrite dust. But the fact that we are here and we have all those albium pearls, check this out. If we click sell, it brings up all the stuff that you have on you. We have, what is that, 6 pages worth of stuff, and then we also do have our starship inventory here. So our starship inventory, the items that are here, I don't know why they pop up there, because we don't have those on our starship. So I'm not sure why they pop up there. I think it's stuff that they're looking for to buy from you. And it's stuff that is usually worth quite a bit. So you can see here, if you had 1 fusion accelerant, it would sell for 1.3 million. So I think these are things that are high in demand, although that one's not, because that's demand negative 8.8. But all of these are all high in demand, so I think it's stuff that they're looking to buy from you. But if we go back to our exosuit inventory, You can see here we have all the items that we've been picking up. We don't need any of the food items, so we're going to sell all of our food items. So the 13 heptaploid wheat is going to sell for 10,000. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of those. Hit X on that. That sold all of them. You can see all of our units that we're getting up here. We're going to keep the ferrite dust. We're going to keep the oxygen. We're going to keep the sodium. Those are the three main things we're going to need. That and the dihydrogen, and actually the carbon too. So basically these three items and these two, there's probably going to be more, but we don't need the frozen tubers. It's going to sell that 53 that we have for 42,000. So we can hit that. You can see here that goes up to 67,000. We'll keep the dihydrogen jelly. We'll go down to the next page. We'll keep the sodium. We'll keep the condensed carbon. We don't need the sweet root. 7 of those are going to sell for 5,304. We have 100 viscous fluids here. That's going to sell for 2,003. Rusted metal, we have 427. That's going to sell for 8,224. Pure ferrite, we're going to hang on to. Portable refiner, we're going to hang on to. The cobalt, this is what I was telling you guys about. So 172 will sell for 13,000. If you guys want to sell different amounts, you can hit X on these arrows here. You can see instead of selling the 172, we can sell 160. It'll reduce how much, or you can click this arrow, or instead of clicking the arrows, you can just do right and left on the D-pad. So we're not going to sell any of the cobalt, at least not yet. Now check this out, guys. We have 44 albium pearls. That sells for 430,000 units if we sell all 44 of them, which we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and sell that. We had 83,000. You can see our units went up to 513,000. So technically, if we wanted to, we could buy that that gun now, but I don't want to. We have the marrow bulb, which sells 53 for 2,091. That's kind of crappy, but we're going to sell it because we don't need it. Ionized cobalt, we only have 12, sells for 1986. We're going to hang on to that. And then we do have 1 navigation data. We're going to hang on to it because we don't know what it's for yet. If you're new to the game, I mean, I know what it's for, but we're going to hang on to it just for now. If you read the little paragraph there, it does say encoded navigation data. This highly portable data unit contains all relevant cartographical information for a planetary region. May be traded with our cartographer aboard a space station in exchange for a usable star chart. So it tells you exactly what it does right there. 1 navigation data will let you trade with a cartographer, and it'll give you a usable star chart. So we'll go ahead and hang on to that, and then the rest of the stuff we don't have. That is the stuff, once again, that they're looking to buy from us. So that was very lucrative. We have a whole bunch of stuff there. If you guys take a look at on the table here, you'll see 3 different things. There's only going to be 2 of them here. You'll see this yellow thing here. It says encrypted navigation data. That's probably for the money we just got. Yeah, so earned 75,000 units. We're a space trucker. Oh, and there was actually more there. So if we go options, catalog and guide. Nope. Is it? It should be here. Pathfinder, Extreme Survival. Oh, it's this one. So it's just the middle one there. Exploration milestones. Where is it the Merchants Guild? Yeah, so I think this is the thing that we did just now here. It's not the one I was thinking of, so. Here it is. So units acquired, so basically we already got like 5 of those just by selling everything that we sold, and we're actually pretty close to the next one. So you can rank these up 10 at a time. Not 10 at a time, 10 total, so it'll be 5 stars on the bottom, then 5 stars on top. You can see here that there's like grayed out stars here. And each one will make you need more and more. So obviously the very first one was probably only like 1,000 units, and then it went to 10,000 units, then it went to 50,000, then maybe 100,000, then 500,000. I don't know if that's right, but that's basically how it works. Same thing with this. So we have to survive 900 minutes on an extreme world. After the 900 minutes, it'll give you 1 star, and then the next one will be like 1,800 minutes or something like that. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, so you'll see this little icon here. It's like a little yellow glowing cube that's laying on its side. If you hit square on it, it will give you 1 navigation data, which we just went over what the navigation data is, so we'll go ahead and hang on to that. The blue one here looks like it gives another encrypted navigation data. Sometimes these things can give you units, or they can give you nanites. And then there's a third one that's not here, but it'll look like a circle with a black circle on it. That sounds dumb, but it looks like almost like a what is it called? A cup coaster. So, and then you can talk with him if you want, but the main thing is this guy here. So over here you can buy and sell normal stuff. Over here he usually sells upgrades and components. So if we talk with him, you can see here he has components and blueprints. So if we look at components first, you can see here that they do cost units to buy. This is if you need anything, just basically some of the stuff that was sold there in the galactical terminal there. We don't need any of this stuff right now, so we're not going to buy any of it. And then if we go back in here, we can look at his blueprints. His blueprints are completely something different. So first of all, some of the things, as you can see, you do need a certain rank in order to buy them. But there's other things that will definitely help you out with making you stronger, or be able to help you out with just things in general. So if you guys remember the big crystal we came across in the last one, we needed the advanced mining laser. You guys can buy it here for 75 nanites. You can see we have 249. So technically we can buy this, but keep in mind when you scroll over it, it tells you what it requires to build it. So just buying it, we're just buying the blueprint. We still have to build it. So we would need another hermetic seal, we would need another carbon tube, and we would need 2 wiring looms. The good thing is that I'm pretty sure he had most of those things here, so you can actually buy those from him too. So there's a hermetic seal, there's a wiring loom. He only has 1 wiring loom though, so be careful with that. And then what was the other thing? Hermetic seal, wiring loom. I think the last one was a carbon tube, but we know how to make that, so we could have made that. But we're not going to do it. We're going to wait until it requires us to at a certain point. We're going to look at the other blueprints though, because there was 2 pages. So we can get another thermic layer here, meaning we can last a little bit longer in the cold. You can also buy a personal force field, but it says we already learned this one, and we also already know the oxygen recycler. So we back out of there. We're going to look in our multi-tool, because this is where a lot of the stuff is that we can craft. As you can see, we only have the mining beam, we have the scanner, and we have the analysis visor. Now that we know that you can click on these and craft different things, if I click on this last one, you can see that I can build the force field here, which I would need an ion battery and a wiring loom. Sorry, 2 ion batteries and a wiring loom. If I wanted to do the bolt caster, it would require me to get 100 chromatic metal, which technically at this point, if you're new to the game, you don't even know what that is. And it would require 3 carbon nanotubes. So we would not be able to build that because we have no clue what that chromatic metal is. Which technically is going to require more for us anyway, so we're not going to mess with that just yet. And then if you go back over to the exosuit, once again, if you click here, you can build the different things. So you might want to take a look and see what all you guys can build, just to make sure that you are familiar with it. So if you look up here, we already have the life support, but it looks like you can build another life support thing. So basically this one is your normal life support. It does say suit survival power pack, but this is your normal one that comes with it. If you hit X to install this one says it's a C class and it only takes 60 oxygen. We can actually build that right now. So if we hit X on this, it goes into the slot where you guys seen it, and then we can throw in the 60 oxygen. And then now you can see that these have 2 blue squares around them, around the border. So they're linked together. So now we have our normal one, but we also have an additional 10% for the life support tanks, because we built another one added on to that. You can eventually do the same thing with your mining beam, your scanner, and your analysis visor. But obviously they have to be next to each other in order to get that bonus to where they're outlined like that. And they do have to be of the same thing. So basically a mining beam would have to be next to another mining beam. You can't have the mining beam over here because it won't be touching, so you won't get that bonus. And it does have to be next to it, not like catty corner, like not diagonal from it. So, and then if you want to move these, you can see this did not used to be a thing, but you can actually hit square to move the technology to a different spot. Before, you would literally have to destroy it and rebuild it. So I'm glad that they finally decided to put that in the game. That did get a lot of people kind of interested back into the game. And that's going to be it there. Still no flying creatures. So let's... Sometimes in order to get the flying creatures, you do have to be up on like a higher point, like it would be up there. There's actually a sentinel over this way. I see you. There you are. So that's a sentinel. They can be aggressive. The ones on this planet are not. But if I continue to damage things on the planet, like this rock here, they will come and investigate. Where'd he go? He'll come and investigate. Oh, he is already hostile. Is he? No, he's not. So he'll come and investigate where the rock was. I think he kind of glitched out there. They'll normally come and investigate that, and then they'll start scanning you. And if you keep damaging stuff, they will eventually get hostile, and they will start attacking you. So be careful with them. Let's see if we can find the last thing on the planet real quick. So we're going to jump in our ship. We're going to hold R2 to take off. And we're going to fly around. We're going to try to find a high peak of the mountain. R2 is to move forward. Hold circle to kind of give yourself a little boost there. And then when you're flying at a fast pace like this, you'll see things spawning in a little bit slow. But if you slow down by holding L2, that guy just flew into the ground. You'll see that stuff will start spawning in. This place down here. Yeah, I want to show you guys this. So there's no landing pad here, but it does have this here, and you can see there's a mark there on the ground, like a skid mark. And it does have the little thing right there to the left side that we're landing next to. This technically counts as a landing pad, so we won't use thruster fuel when we take off because of this thing right here. And you can use a navigation data to call your ship. You'll just hold square on that to do it. And this actually isn't one. Interesting. I thought there was going to be whispering eggs here. That's really interesting. This is a big one that's actually functional. So you can come in here. There should be an NPC or two in here that you can interact with. Other times you'll just have things like this where you kind of have to guess at what's going on with them, especially if you don't know the languages. Anything that you see like this on the wall is like a DNA sample. Take it. Sometimes it'll get nanites, sometimes you'll get units, other times you'll just get reputation for the faction. It's all different things, so but always take those. Sometimes you can actually get carbon from these plants, but not always. That just turns off the light. Yeah, can't go in there because we don't have the Atlas pass, but we can interact with the console here. So it says, a beacon sent a long time ago from a distant system awaits my response. 3 numbers are visible above an empty input box. I think I know what comes next. So basically it's like a pattern. You just have to figure out what the patterns are. They're not always like this. Sometimes it'll give you like an actual quiz thing. It'll tell you something in some other language, and it'll basically say, do you want to like purge the system? Do you not want to purge the system? Do you want to try to hack it? Things like that. And you just basically have to guess and get lucky as to which to do. But normally if you can speak the language or at least make out a lot of the words, which is why you want to collect all of the knowledge stones, but most of the time if you can make out all the words, it'll kind of hint to what you have to do. Like it'll say purge to recover system, so then you know that you can purge the system and actually recover it. So the patterns like this are normally fairly easy. So the first one is 1702, the next one is 7021, and then the next one is 0217. So as you can see, the numbers are basically rotating. It's basically taking the number that's on the left and it's putting it on the right. So that 1702, it moves the 1 to the right, it becomes 7021, moves a 7 to the right, becomes 0217, so meaning our missing number would take the 0, it would move it to the end, so our number we're looking for is 2170. So if we pick this very first one here, it'll turn blue. Normally if you get it wrong, it'll turn red. But it says I discovered a location within the distant stars. So we hit X, it will give us a location for something, whether it's a building, a signal, a distress beacon, anything like that. It will automatically ping it, and then now you can see there's an ancient ruin off planet, which means it's going to be on another planet. So we're actually not going to go to it, at least not in this episode, because I still want to get those damn flying creatures. Still so surprised that I haven't seen one yet. And I'm a little worried about landing where we can't take off again. So we're gonna land on this peak here. Is there a higher peak in the area? Oh, but there is one of those. We can actually land there and then just run to the peak. So we'll land right here. You can land on any one of these. Whichever one is lit up green like this, that's the one that you're currently kind of locked onto. This is technically something that's new in the game too, or at least semi-new. They do have spots where you can buy and sell things, like down here. Some of them require certain items, so like this here would require an artifact exchange. We don't have any artifacts on us, so we can't exchange anything. It does say that you can submit a fossil sample, a lost artifact, or a biological sample. Once you do that, it'll basically give you the same thing in return, except it might be of equal or higher value. And then if we go up top, there are a couple vendors up here. There's also ships here from the current people. You can look at the type of ships, so that you can see there that ship is a fighter. It is a B class on the left there, where it says class, says B, 28 and 19. That means it has 28 regular slots and 19 cargo slots, and it costs 9.4 million. So we don't have 9.4 million, but if you wanted to buy it, you can actually come up, talk with this cadet here. Obviously we don't understand his language, so we're just going to hit X. You can offer to trade, you can make an offer on his starship, or you can recruit him to your squadron. You can have up to 4 different ships in your squadron, if I remember correctly. But I think you might need a place for them to live. I could be wrong about that. So if you offer to trade, it's going to be just like doing a terminal type thing. He only has the 1 page here, so you can't really do anything with that. But if we hit circle, we go back to make an offer on his starship. You can see there it's the B class. It tells you damage potential, all the stuff that it has on it. You can negotiate price. If we exchanged it, ours is worth 3.4 million and his is worth 9.4, so that would be the difference of 6 million. So if we had the 6 million, technically we could give him our ship, he'll give us his, and we'll just pay him the 6 million and we can buy a ship or exchange it with ours. If you wanted to flat out buy it, I think you can have up to 12 ships now, but that would cost you 9.4 million. And I think before you needed either a freighter or a base to store the ships, but I don't think that that's an actual thing now. I think you can just own 12 ships in general, because you can switch them out non-stop. You get down on the D-pad, you can go over to this one where it says summon vehicles. This is where all of your vehicles will be, so you can see here, select other ship. If we had another ship, it would appear there, but we don't have any, so it's not pulling anything up. So then if we run over here, you can see here, this is to trade in more of those samples that we were talking about. You can see here we have a technology merchant, which is, I think he sells components and blueprints. Yep, just like the other guy did. So you can look in there, basically the same stuff that the other guy had. Blueprints probably going to be the same too, because we're still on the same planet, but let's take a look. Yeah, for the most part it's all the same. I think that might be different, but doesn't matter. Still kind of want to buy that. That's fine though. We'll leave it. Here is a cartographer thing, local information repository. Oh, so you can print a chart for 15 nanites. We're not going to do that. They don't have an actual cartographer. Or is this him? Who are you? You're envoy. You're not going to do anything at all for me. Yeah, it's because our reputation is not high enough yet. Sometimes we'll actually have a cartographer with this here, I think. Are you the cartographer? No. No. Alright, well. And then here's a galactic terminal if you guys want to sell or trade anything from the galaxy crap. And then we have this here, which normally doesn't do anything. I still don't think it does. Hit square on that. It's in their Viking language. Can't read it. And then it tells you a little bit about it. You can do interloping. It says access granted. We can decrypt the archive. Just gives a little bit of lore, and I think that's it. Hopefully you guys are pausing and reading that if you want to. Yeah, so it doesn't give us anything, just a little bit of lore. But if you guys are looking to buy a ship or anything and you guys have the money for it, this would be a good place to come and look for it. And there's another B-class fighter. You could literally just stand here. Ships will fly around you and stuff, and they'll eventually land here. Once they land, you talk to the pilot and see if you can actually buy it from them. So there's one over there. Looks like there's one landing right here. That one is 10 million. I like the fighters personally. There's certain ones that I do like, but the fighters to me are the best ones. But that's just my personal opinion, you guys. Keep that in mind. I'm not telling you that you need a fighter. Alright, so now that we're here, let's go. I think it was up this way. We're looking for the flying creatures. So sometimes they are a bit out of range. So if you can find a high peak, sometimes they will spawn in for you. And sorry, I was just checking on the recording there, making sure we're not passing up that hour. I think this was the peak. I think it was next to it. Yeah, it was over there. Let's just wait a second here. See if any of them spawn in real quick. That was a hauler, 11 million. Still nothing. Alright, let's check the other peak. Ow, took damage there. Oh, and a disclaimer, since we're climbing a kind of a steep mountain. So if you're ever running up a mountain and you don't have jetpack fuel, you can still hold X to climb. That's basically how you climb in this game. You'll get up against a vertical building, anything. Hold X and it will still give you jetpack fuel, even if your jetpack fuel is automatically depleted. Just it'll like be spurts, and it will be like if you're climbing the side of a building or whatever you're up against. Come on, flying creatures. You're the last one I need. There's one. Scan you. There we go. So that was 1,000. So you can see here, we have 249 nanites. We go into our options here, discoveries. You can see we discovered 6 of 6. We'll hit X on that. Now it says hold to register completion for our 15,000 nanite bonus. Hold X on that. There you go. You got your 15,000. So we're now at 1749. So now we can buy some of those upgrades and blueprints that we need. But we're still not going to, at least not yet. But that's how you do it, guys. And then from here we will end up going up into space, but that will be in the next episode because I don't want to make this too long. And that's probably for running so far again. Oh no, that's discovered all species on one planet. Yeah, so if you do that 10 times, you'll complete that one. And there are planets with different amounts. There was obviously only 6 on this one. I've been on planets where I think the most I've ever seen was like 16. And then the smallest amount you'll ever see is 1. The ones that have 1 are usually unique planets that are, they're just different. I don't know how to really explain it, but they're different types of planets. And then I don't know if you guys seen this, but there's actually something right here I want to show you guys. Right there, you can see it says ancient data structure. So that is these things here. We have to be careful picking these up. Sometimes it does trigger the sentinels. We're gonna put stuff in our mining beam, our life support, and our protection. This should give you some type of data. Yeah, so it's going to be navigation data. And it did not trigger the sentinel, so we're good to pick them all up. Sometimes you'll find these underground, but if you guys ever see these when you're first starting the game, go ahead and pick them up. Unless you don't need them and you already know what they're for, then don't grab them. But if you're new to the game, I'm telling you right now, eventually you are going to need them, so go ahead and pick them up at least for now. It will help you buy stuff that you are going to need soon. And then, like I said, I mean, the food and stuff, so like this wheat right here that I'm about to pick up, you don't need this stuff, but once again, pick it up, sell it. It's the best and easiest way to get money in the game, guys. Just picking stuff up you don't need and selling it. Like I said, people ask all the time, what's the quickest way to get money? What's the easiest way to get money? That's the easiest. Might not be the quickest, but that is definitely the easiest. Just picking stuff up, selling it, or scanning stuff. Those are the easiest ways to do it. If you're looking to get rich, it's not going to happen right away, but it is still the easiest. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, put it down in the comment section. Thank you guys for joining me today, and I will see you guys in the next video.